All right, chapter 3 continues here, and although I didn't remember, apparently all of this is applied stuff. This is pretty easy, I think. There's only one thing that's going to approach kind of a more typical word problem. We're going to be looking, and I think all of these will be about triangles. And so we just need to remember some basic ideas. Do you remember that if you add up all the angles inside of a triangle, it's got to add up to 180 degrees? You remember perimeter is just adding up the outside of a triangle or any geometric shape. And then the area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. And if we remember those things, which I hope you do, all of this should be pretty easy. So they're telling us here that we've got two of the three angles of a triangle. Well, where's the third? Well, we know this, that they have to total up to be 180 just by the principles of triangles. So I can, your dictionary if you need it, but we're looking for that missing angle. So I know that if I add up the two, there's one more angle, and total they make 180. So I've added up the three right here. Two of them I know, one I don't. And I know that intuitively they have to be 180 because that's always true of triangles. So do a little basic algebra. We get down to x is 43. Okay, same thing here. So I'm not going to do the dictionary because I know it's just the missing angle. But if I add up those two angles plus the missing third one, they have to be 180 degrees. So I get this, just tidying up the left now, just combining like terms, cleaning that room. And now I want to get x alone, so I'm going to get rid of the 159. So that missing angle is 21 degrees. Okay, same thing here. I've got two of the angles, but I don't have the third, but I know that they have to be 180. So now I'm going to just combine my like terms here. So I've got to put the numbers together. And now we just get x by himself. Is that right? Yeah, 56 degrees. Okay, so now we're working with perimeter, but the idea, okay, no, this is pretty simple. I thought this would get a little harder here. But this is what we've got. We've got two of the sides, but we don't know the third. But they told us the perimeter is 24. Well, this is the same idea. We have everything but one missing side. We know that the three sides had to be 24. Let's just do a little algebra. We've got an I don't know in there, and we solve it. So I've got 18 and 22 as two of the sides. Well, there has to be a third one that I don't know. And the perimeter is when you add them all up, you get 48. So I've got 40 plus x equals 48. Some basic algebra here to get x by himself. And x turns out to be 8. So 8 feet. Alright, same thing here. I've got two of them add to be 7. Or we've got 7 and 5. There's a third one I don't know. But if you add all those up, it gets to be 18. So I'm just cleaning up now. The room on the left's got to be clean. Solving for x. Okay, I'm going a little faster with the algebra steps, but I hope you see. Clean it up, get them alone. Okay, so now we're going to do the area of a triangle. So I've got 1/2 the base times the height. Well, the base is 15, and I don't know the height. That's what they're telling us. But I do know the area. So I have all the pieces I need except the height. We're just going to tidy this up a little bit. I've got 1/2 times 15. They left it as a fraction. I probably wouldn't have done that. Now, solving for h, and we get a height of 12. Okay, so I'm doing area is 1/2 the base times the height. Well, the area they told me is 126. So I've got 1/2 times the base of 18, and I don't know the height. Now, I've got three things being multiplied here, but it's really no big deal. I'm just going to multiply 1/2 times 18, which gets me 9. So I've basically cleaned up the right. Now, divide both sides by 9 to get h by himself. I don't think this is going to work out evenly. Oh, it does. So the height is going to turn out to be 14. I flipped it around. Really, h was over here, but it doesn't make any difference. So 14 feet. Okay, so I've got area is 1/2 the base times the height. They told me the area is 15. I've got 1/2. Oh, I don't know the base. They've told me the height is 5. So they mixed it up a little bit, but that doesn't change anything. You don't really have to do this, but I'm going to show you that I would just switch the order around to put the base at the end because we're used to seeing it like that. So I've got 15. Now I'm going to multiply these two. You could leave them as a fraction, 5/2 if you wanted. I'm going to make them a decimal. Okay, now I just divide both sides by 2.5. So 6 is the base. You get a base of 6 feet. Okay, so they're applying one more principle here. Do you remember that a right triangle means that you know you have this angle in the corner that's 90 degrees? And so to start with, they're just telling us one of the angles. So we think we only have one angle, 28, but we actually have two because we know that it's a right triangle. I actually know, let's let them do it here. I actually know two of the angles. I know I have a 90 and the one they told me about, and those angles all have to add up to 180. So basically the 90 was just hidden in the story, but it's right there. So we solve this, we get 62. Okay, so because they told me it's a right triangle, there's one angle I don't know. One of them happens to be 90 and another one happens to be 56, but in all triangles they add up to 180. So I'm going to clean this up here. Now get x by himself. So just subtracting there, I get 34, right? 50, yeah, 34 degrees. Okay, they told me it's a right triangle again. So I don't know one of the angles, but one of them must be 90 and another one is 45. So clean this up now. Get x by himself. Okay, the only thing, I think this is the last type if I remember. The only thing we've done here is that we have to build, we're going to build one of these. Let me see if they did the dictionary like I would do. They did not. Okay, so we got a lot going on here. So, oh, hold on, they called it. I like this. Let's call it first and second. Okay, so I've got a right triangle, and we have one angle is 20 more than the smallest. So I'm going to say the first one is the smallest. Maybe I should have called it that. That's what I was debating. We're going to call him I don't know. Now I can build the second one off of this one. He's 20 more than the smallest. So he's 20 more than that one I just built. Okay, now find all three. Well, where's the third? Well, it was a right triangle. So I have these three angles. There's this one I don't know. There's this one. That's 20 more. And then there's the 90 one that isn't built into this kind of triangle. And they add up to be 180. Now, I sub this in with parentheses to show you that it's all a number here, but I'm not multiplying now, so I don't really need that there anymore. I just wanted you to see that it's all one number. Okay, now I can start putting things together. I've got 2x plus 20 plus 90. So I just cleaned up this room till it was all the way clean. Okay, now I want the factor puzzle alone, so this is what's leaving first. Divide both sides by 2. Okay, I get to 35. Now back to my dictionary. They want, well, they want all three angles. So if that's 35, this one is 20 plus 35, which is 55. And so obviously the third one. So my three angles are 35, 55, and it was a right triangle, so my third one is 90. Okay, same thing. They keep, maybe I should call it, let's do it. Smallest, then larger. This is why I didn't do it the first time. I didn't know what to call the other one. Okay, with smallest one is I don't know. And we can build the larger one off of that. It's 50 more than that smaller one. Okay, well we've got three angles here. We've got this one, that larger one. And because it's a right triangle, I know my third one is 90. And you add them all up, they have to be 180. Okay, I don't really need the parenthesis because there's no multiplication, so I'm just going to clean up here. I'm going to get 2x plus 140. Did all the cleaning kind of in one step there. Okay, let's get x by itself. I'm going to subtract 140 from each side. Divide both sides by 2. Okay, now I know x, but that's not everything I need. So the smallest is 20. The larger is 50 plus 20, or 70. Now it wants all three, so I'll go ahead and list them. 20, 70, and then we knew it was a 90 because it was a right triangle. Okay. Try this if you want to. So he's, I don't know, and I can build him. He's 30 more than that smaller guy. So let's add together the three of them. That's not a 1, that's a parenthesis. 30 plus x. We know it's 90 in there because it was a right triangle. They add to 180. Now I don't have to multiply, so I'm dropping the parentheses and I'm tidying everything up in one shot, and I get this. I get 2x is 60. Dividing both sides by 2, and x turns out to be 30. Now that's one of the things that I need, is 30. But the other one is 30 plus 30. It's going to be 60. So my three angles are 30, 60, and 90. Okay, I hope that's pretty straightforward, just based on some pretty basic geometry principles that I'm sure you're probably pretty aware of. If not, the angles add up to 180. Perimeter, you add up the sides. An area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height.